Answers to any of your questions on Atlantic Canada. We get asked a lot of questions from visitors who are first fascinated by Atlantic Canada. There's a lot to know about the most eastern part of Canada, which includes New Brunswick, Newfoundland and Labrador, Nova Scotia, and Prince Edward Island. Fortunately, we know everything there is to know about it. We'll cover everything in this page, whether you're wondering what there is to do, want to learn more about the finest locations for particular experiences, or just want to know the ideal times of year for iceberg gazing, whale watching, or festivals. Here are the answers to all of your inquiries concerning Atlantic Canada. What provinces make up Atlantic Canada? Atlantic Canada is made up of the following 4 provinces: New Brunswick, Newfoundland and Labrador, Nova Scotia, and Prince Edward Island. Despite covering an area of more than 500,000 square kilometers, 193,000 square miles, the region only accounts for less than 7% of Canada's population. The outcome? There are more miles of coastline than you can travel in one trip, more wildlife than people, and more charming communities than big cities. New Brunswick. New Brunswick is a diverse province with a history of 11,000 years that combines the Acadi, Celtic, and Indigenous cultures with the English and French languages. It is the only legally bilingual province in Atlantic Canada and has been for more than 50 years, influenced by Indigenous, French, British, Irish, and Scottish immigration. The province is rich in culture, whether it be found in art galleries, concert halls, museums, or even dining establishments. You won't have any trouble finding delectable seafood, Indigenous bannock, Acadian fricot, and regional artisan beers in New Brunswick since its flavor profile is so vibrant and diverse. Every part of the province has a microbrewery, and every coastal town has a thriving fishing wharf. After refueling, be sure to venture out and discover New Brunswick's top sights. Travelers frequently visit Hopewell Rocks twice in a single day, one to walk on the ocean bottom and again to kayak above where they had just been standing seconds ago. Hopewell Rocks are most famous for the Bay of Fundy with its greatest tides in the world. The bay is a highlight of every itinerary because of the 160 billion tons of saltwater that flow in and out every year. Of course, there are a lot more beach activities available in New Brunswick than in Fundy National Park. There are more than 50 wonderful beaches to find, explore, and spend the day on, including the warmest saltwater beaches in Canada, and, in fact, the hottest anywhere north of Virginia. There will be lots of possibilities for whale viewing out at sea. Fin, humpback, and minke whales are attracted to the Bay of Fundy's nutrient-rich waters by the tides, especially between June and October. Newfoundland and Labrador. The most easterly province of Canada is Newfoundland and Labrador, which is renowned for its rocky terrain, icebergs, and an abundance of marine life. The area has a rich history that includes Vikings, native Beothuk people, Basque whalers, and a sizable Irish immigrant population. Numerous lighthouses, such as those at Cape Spear, Ferryland, and Cape Bonavista, continue to stand as witnesses to the legends even now. Even though these lights guarantee ship safety, more vessels continue to cruise by Newfoundland and Labrador. The iceberg season lasts from spring to early summer, although it lasts longer the further north you go. Massive icebergs more than 10,000 years old may be seen from St. Louis, Battle Harbor, Red Bay, Point Amour, St. Anthony, Twillingate, Fogo Island, Bonavista, and Cape Spear as they sweep in from the glaciers of Greenland and Canada's Arctic. The best way to experience it all is on our Iceberg Alley Newfoundland trip. Newfoundland and Labrador has a lot to offer tourists even outside of the iceberg season. The 29,000 kilometers, 18,000 miles of coastline provide plenty of room for kayaking, rafting, or trekking, and festivals celebrating music, cuisine, fish, cinema, theater, and crafts may be enjoyed at any time of year. The world's greatest population of humpback whales offers excellent opportunities for whale watching. The 46th annual Newfoundland and Labrador Folk Festival, which takes place in St. John's over the weekend of July 8th to 10th, should definitely be attended. A trip to L'Anse aux Meadows is a must for anybody interested in its Viking past. An approximately 1,000-year-old archaeological site that is a UNESCO World Heritage Site is where you can see the remnants of a Viking town from the 11th century as well as proof of the first European presence in North America. The Norse roots are confirmed by timber-framed buildings and over 800 wooden, metal, bone, and stone items. We also need to talk about Grosmorn National Park before continuing. Covering 1,805 square kilometers, 696 square miles, this UNESCO World Heritage Site has a landscape of towering cliffs, stunning fjord valleys, glacial lakes, and highland plateaus that took 485 million years to build. You may experience all of this by meandering along serpentine pathways that connect the volcanic seacoast to the boreal forest. Make sure to reserve a Western Brook Pond cruise as well. Nova Scotia. With a population of over 500,000 and a Bay of Fundy shared with New Brunswick, Nova Scotia is the most populous province in Atlantic Canada. The waterfront, which stretches 4 kilometers (2.5 miles) from the Canadian Museum of Immigration at Pier 21 to Casino, Nova Scotia, is one of the most popular tourist attractions in this capital city. Enjoy a meal by the seaside, peruse boutique stores, and go to the longest continuously running farmers market in North America. Open weekends only throughout the year, it's a terrific place to get fresh food and drinks from the area. The waterfront extends away from the boardwalk along Nova Scotia's 13,000 kilometers, 8,000 miles of coastline. Enjoy hiking, kayaking, canoeing, tidal bore rafting, or simply viewing a lighthouse. We advise the fishing settlement of Peggy's Cove, which has about 150 lights dispersed throughout the rocky coast of the province. With the lighthouse being the most photographed in the world, it seems like something from a postcard. With over 12 species passing through each year, Nova Scotia still offers plenty of opportunities for whale viewing, much like the other provinces. Visit Cape Breton Island and travel the famed Cabot Trail, all the while keeping an eye out for the park's animals. The Cabot Trail, one of the most magnificent roads in the world, links well-known hiking routes in Cape Breton Highlands National Park with charming communities, craft stores, and other attractions. Particularly, the Skyline Trail pathway offers views of the migrating whale-filled Gulf of St. Lawrence. Nova Scotia offers a good number of historical landmarks considering that it is one of Canada's oldest provinces. While learning about British and French colonial life at the Halifax Citadel National Historic Site and Fortress of Louisbourg National Historic Site, visitors may also catch a glimpse of the Blue Nose 2 in the UNESCO World Heritage town of Lunenburg. Attend a local ceilidh or kitchen party for a vibrant flavor of more contemporary culture. Between each little village along the ceilidh Trail in Cape Breton, live music, step dancing, and singing are performed. Prince Edward Island. Prince Edward Island is the smallest province of the four, with a total area of only 5,700 square kilometers, 2,200 square miles, and a population of only 150,000. Its capital, Charlottetown, is the closest thing to a large city you'll find. The remainder of the island is made up of little settlements, white sand beaches, red cliffs, and emerald woods. Given how vibrant it is, it makes obvious that Prince Edward Island served as the inspiration for Anne of Green Gables by Lucy Maud Montgomery. The book's international popularity continues to exist today at Green Gables Heritage Place, Anne of Green Gables Museum, and even in Charlottetown with the yearly Anne of Green Gables, the musical. The author was born on the North Shore in 1874 and was reared in Cavendish by her grandparents. As the novel comes to life in front of them, book lovers will have much to see and do. For inclusions, see our Wonders of the Maritimes road trip. Plan some beach time while visiting Prince Edward Island. You'll have plenty of chances to take a sleep in the sun, play about in the sea, construct a sandcastle, go for a walk, or snap a picture of a breathtaking sunset, whether you're at Basin Head, Argyle Shore, Brackley Beach, or Cavendish Beach. Boating, cycling, fishing, golfing, hiking, paddling, trail riding, and other sports are available on the island. Prince Edward Island provides a wide variety of tasty and genuine food to choose from when you're hungry. Here, eating is a way of life, and skilled chefs can elevate locally sourced, fresh delicacies from the land and sea to a whole new level. Try the lobster, crab, scallops, clams, mussels, fish, and renowned PI oysters, among other delicacies. Just a few of the renowned names to order include Malpic Bay, Raspberry Point, and Colville Bay. While you're there, request a side of fries with the works, FWTW, a traditional meal made with PI potatoes, gravy, ground beef, and canned peas. Finally, we'd like to discuss a couple of Prince Edward Island's festivals. Every year in July, Cavendish Beach Music Festival, Charlottetown Festival, and PEI Jazz Blues Festival take place. The Charlottetown Festival lasts from late May to mid-October. Foodies should keep a lookout for the International Shellfish Festival in September, which has been called the biggest kitchen party in Atlantic Canada. What time zone is Atlantic Canada in? The Atlantic Time Zone, AST, which includes Atlantic Canada, is 4 hours earlier than Pacific Standard Time, PST, and an hour earlier than Eastern Standard Time, EST. As a result, if it's 12 p.m. in California, it's 3 p.m. in New York and 4 p.m. in the provinces of Atlantic Canada. Newfoundland's Island has its own time zone. Eastern Time is 1.5 hours behind Newfoundland time. The majority of Labrador is on Atlantic Time, although the region between Lanceauclair and Black Tickle is on Newfoundland Time. Cape Spear in Newfoundland and Labrador is the first point in North America to view dawn each day because of its extreme eastern position. Where can I go in Atlantic Canada? Given the geographic makeup of Atlantic Canada, driving is the most convenient mode of transportation. Most of our visitors choose to self-drive around the area, making pit stops at beautiful national and provincial parks, historic sites, and beach communities along the way. The flexibility of the drive, which lets you go wherever you want and take as long as you wish to get there, is what makes it so beautiful. Ask us to add a vehicle rental on your self-drive in Atlantic Canada to make travel planning even easier. The area's sparse population makes for lovely, empty highways. Because of our established relationship with Avis Car, we can provide you the greatest price and model for your trip, making sure you have the right car for whatever the terrain demands. In Atlantic Canada, which national parks are located? 9 of Canada's 45 national parks are located in Atlantic Canada. Every province offers a good number of parks just waiting to be discovered, whether your preference is to explore steep cliffs, sail through scenic fjords, stroll through pine-filled woods, or climb up historic lighthouses. New Brunswick, Fundy National Park and Couchabagwak National Park. Newfound and Labrador, Gromorn National Park, Torngat Mountains National Park, Akami-Yup'ik, Kakkuswak-Mealy Mountains National Park Reserve and Terra Nova National Park. Nova Scotia, Cape Breton Highlands National Park, Kejimkujik National Park National Historic Site and Kejimkujik National Park Seaside. Prince Edward Island, Prince Edward Island National Park. Which cities in Atlantic Canada are the biggest? Halifax, Nova Scotia, St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador, Moncton, New Brunswick, and St. John, New Brunswick, are the major cities in Atlantic Canada by population. The largest city on Prince Edward Island is Charlottetown. However, with just 78,858 inhabitants, it is still 40% smaller than St. John and still ranks 7th overall. And despite the fact that you may assume there isn't much to do because of the fewer people, there is actually much to do because there is more room. Where can I view the highest tides on Earth? The Bay of Fundy has the highest and lowest tides in the world, and Hopewell Rocks in New Brunswick is the greatest location to see both at once. Every day, you may kayak on the surface 1 minute and stroll on the ocean floor the next, since the highs and lows occur twice every day. Mid-May marks the start of the primary travel season for the Hopewell Rocks, which lasts until mid-October. It's useful to be aware that there are 6 hours and 13 minutes between high and low tides. When you reserve our Wonders of the Bay of Fundy package, you may consult with one of our experts or use the tide tables to help you plan your visit. When is the ideal time of year to travel to Atlantic Canada? The ideal times to travel to Atlantic Canada are in July and August, when temperatures may reach 20 to 30 degrees Celsius, 68 to 86 degrees Fahrenheit, throughout the day and are usually bright and sunny. Nevertheless, as this is also the busiest travel time of year, you should make your reservations well in advance to guarantee your preferred hotel, tour, and rental vehicle. Early fall, September, may also be a lovely time to come if your schedule is flexible. The days are still warm, the evenings are a little bit cooler, and there are often less tourists. What time of year is ideal for seeing icebergs? If you plan to travel to Newfoundland and Labrador's northern shore in late May or early June, you'll probably see enormous icebergs piercing the Atlantic Ocean. These enormous glaciers, which stretch back 10,000 years and may weigh up to 10 million tons, are breaking off from the old ones that formerly covered western Greenland and the Canadian Arctic. It should come as no surprise that such a spectacle draws tourists from all around the world. The absolute finest viewing spots are guaranteed by our Iceberg Alley Newfoundland road trip, and you'll also see whales and the Atlantic puffin on a boat trip, meander through little towns, and be completely mesmerized by coastal splendor. Overall, the 6-day trip is ideal for getting a flavor of Newfoundland and Labrador. What time of year is ideal for whale watching? In Atlantic Canada, where 12 distinct species coexist in the same seas, the optimum periods to go whale watching are in the early summer and late fall. Get ready for the loud slam and plume as their massive bulk re-enters the water as one breaches the surface, and take a deep breath as it happens. It's a magnificent sight that makes you appreciate Mother Nature's beauty and shouldn't be missed. What would you see on a trip, you ask? Along with the critically endangered North Atlantic right whales, minke whales, pilot whales, and fin whales are frequently observed. Late summer is often when you may see white-sided dolphins, blue whales, and humpback whales. For an 11-day trip that includes a visit to Briar Island, Nova Scotia, for whale viewing, see our Canadian Maritimes road trip itinerary. How long would it take to tour Atlantic Canada in its entirety? In general, it takes just a few hours to go around all of the maritime provinces by car. However, you shouldn't attempt to visit them all in a single week. The cause? Simply said, there is too much to see and discover. We normally combine New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, and Prince Edward Island for a week. If you'd like time to travel through Newfoundland and Labrador as well, add an additional 3 to 7 days. For a fantastic 7-day itinerary, check out our Atlantic Canada Enchanting Islands road trip, or for a 13-day option, check out the Newfoundland Small Group Tour. How far ahead should I make reservations? The earlier the better is a maxim to bear in mind while planning a vacation to Atlantic Canada. We advise booking your vacation ideally 6 to 12 months in advance, since due to its smaller size, there aren't as many hotels and rental vehicles available. You have a lot better chance of getting everything planned just how you want it if you make your reservations a full year before your desired vacation dates.